UV editor right here. This is UV editor. UV editor let you view and interactively edit the UV texture coordinates, for your model surfaces and faces, and within a 2D view, within a 2D. In other words, unwrapped, unfolded view. You should unwrap first before apply some texture on the surfaces of your model. You can select, move, and scale and modify the UV topology for surface, very much like you work with the modeling tools with mine. Let's say we have a cube. We have a cube here. We understand how to add the solid colors. Or you right-click, select the object, or just the face only. If you like to apply some particular types of texture or colors on this face only, you have to go to face mode instead of object mode. Or if you like to apply same thing, same color and same texture, all of the 6 faces on this cube, just select this object and then right-click and go to assign new material, or you can go to assign favorite material, or you can go to assign existing material in case you have created already some textures with you, or you open Hypershade, right? So Lambert, the one of the most popular materials among others. So you go right here at space and then Lambert. Now I found the Lambert here. All right, this is a test. I'm going to rename this one instead of just using Lambert. This is just test 01, and then I'm going to choose some red color there, yellow, whatever, and the middle mouse button and drag it over. Just here. Yeah, we got color here. All right, very simple, very straightforward. What if you like to change this color? Go back to Hypershade and choose the different color that you prefer, and then very simple. But what if you like to apply some sort of this kind of illustration, the WK logo kind of thing, right? You might want to add this sort of a logo or illustration, book cover design, or the dice for your dice. Okay, let's do it. WKU logo. Let's apply this one, right? And then since we already created a material called test 01, let's see. Let's go to attribute editor. You can definitely find the one we just created, test 01, right? And the color that we chose was this dark blue, but this time we're going to apply this one, WKU logo, instead of this just solid color. So go to test. You need to go to attribute editor first, and go to find the tab, name and test 01, and go to color, and you click this checkerboard, and open create rendered node and the file and the image name. You have to click this folder icon, and I'm going to go to my desktop and the textures, and what is the WKU texture? Here we go. And then open. That's it. But how? So we just applied the WKU logo in the textures on this cube. But how come we don't see? Sarah, why we don't see this? Even if we just apply this, because we didn't check the textures, right? Textures. Now we can see this. Yep. So now we can see the WK logo on this box, but not very very elegant manner, right? This is not exactly what we wanted. We expected. So here it is. This is where UV map comes in finally. UV editor. In order to place this WK logo wherever you desire, you want to place the WK logo on the left-hand side, right-hand side, from the top or bottom. See, and then finally we need to open this UV editor in order to place this WK logo in the right place. So I open this WK logo. Now, what's next? The thing is, there's a UV editor, just like other, the menus here, a little too many, tools that you have to deal with. But some of them are very, very similar to each other. I feel like a little redundant. Some too kind of unnecessary. But like for instance, let's see, if you go to the right-hand side, you see tool in kit, toolkit, UV toolkit. This is UV editor and the UV toolkit. So these will transform and create and cut and sew and unfold and align and snap and arrange and the layout. Also, you can find this, if you click on this pinning, you should see all different kinds of options. I think I never used this pin things, you know. I think I never used this back-facing kind of things. I think also I never used this in a soft selections. But if you expand this transform, you can see also many sub-menu. Also, if you click on create, you see many. So you can go, let's say you need automatic, you go UV toolkit and go to create and select this automatic, or you go to UV editor instead of UV toolkit, and then you go to create and you choose automatic. So they basically place the same, exactly, identical, exactly the same tools, one under here and one under here. For our convenience, I think. So also you'll find the there's unfold instead of unwrap. Instead of unwrap, we use the term unfold. Unwrapping, unfolding, the before applying some texture. So here's a line. We have a line. Also, we have layout things. I think they are very similar. Here's a layout on a line, and also I noticed that the so what is it? Here's a stitch it together. Stitch it together and cut and sews are very similar too. Also, orient to edges, and there's another one called straighten UV. They are very similar too. But anyway, yeah, but it's kind of a little confusing. Too many. I think too many tools are there. But the tool that I like to show you in today's are sort of my preferences. Tool that I prefer to use over the other ones, and probably more frequently used, I guess. All right. So let's talk about the other tools on the UV toolkit a little later. Okay, so we need to place this WK logo on the left-hand side, and front side, or top side here. But before this, okay, select this, all things, and first of all, typically, generally speaking, you have to deal with one of this, automatic, camera-based, and the normal-based, cylindrical, and the planar, and the spherical. See, again, I think way too many options. But anyway, they made an effort on developing those tools. So this is probably the most popular one. And secondly, I guess this planar things. I tried everything, but this works pretty well, and this works pretty well. I never seen this works, as well as this one, automatic or planar. Anyway, so planar first. Okay, we're gonna try the planar. Create planar. This is very, simple object, just a cube. Yeah, very plain, cube. This is not a character, not the human character, animal character, or this is not the some complex, the constructions or some landscape, not the realistic looking trees and grass. No, this is very primitive form, very easy. So in this case, usually we use create and then go to automatic. Say unwrap, unfolded. So now we can find the one. So let me hide this. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces. All 6 faces are identical, because this is cube, a perfect cube. So now each face is separated. After applying this, each one is individual right now. So you can move. This cube consists of 6 faces, as we all know about that. And then it's like this. So when it's like this, it correspond right here. Okay. It's correspond here. If it's like this, it's correspond here. And if you select this top face, this is it. So this corresponds to each other. So then if you like to add the WK logo on the top, so you have to highlight this first. Either way, you can go to Maya interface and select this top interface, or click right here. And then I guess G. That's automatic. George. Also, you like to add the WK logo on here, select this, highlight, and the G. Over here, G. And the G. I think that's enough, right? So go to the other side. Here's G. Okay. Now you kind of can notice that this side right there, this upside down. So you can rotate this. Okay, you can rotate this face one. Okay. Here comes UV toolkit in order to rotate. Okay, in order to rotate this, in order to flip this WK logo, you need to go to where here's transform, create, cut and sew, unfold, and align and arrange. Which one we should go to fix this one? Transform. We go to transform. We'll find the rotate. So I know this. So rotate, rotate, rotate. I like this. Let's go rotate. So like that. Okay, this is very easy. The second one, yeah. I guess we're gonna do today table, UV map table, just typical table. And if our time allows, we're gonna talk about this in a book. And then what is this? Dinosaur. All right. This might take a longer time than the texture on the table or book. Okay, today let's do this table, and I don't know if we can possibly do this book as well. So table first. Okay, table. Again, look at it, this guy, this character. If you like to just apply the, let's see, the existing one, just a solid color. Yeah, if you like, let's apply the solid color, you need to go to hypershade, right? And go to empty space and hit in the tab key and like Lambert. Rename this. Your character's head. Yes. Call this yellowish one, and done. And middle mouse button and drag it over. What about body? I select this and make another one. Tab key, and also I'm going to use a Lambert. And this is body. And I'm going to select a slightly different colors. Like, and the middle mouse button. Yeah, so easy, so easy. But what if you like to add some kind of patterns, like fur patterns, some kind of feathers or something, texture or something? Then then you have to deal with this UV editor or model box, table. All right, this is a very simple table here. Again, if you like to add some just color, solid color, let's go to hypershade, Lambert, whatever, some brightest color, middle mouse button, done. So easy. But what if, Josh, what if you like to, for instance,
you have to apply a solid color first.
Mm-hmm.
You have to apply a solid color first.
No, of course not. I mean, what if you like to apply this wood grain? What if you like to apply this kind of pattern? So what if, what else? What is my apply this kind of texture? It looks like kind of cheesy, but what if? What if? I mean, you both want and apply this texture on this table. Then you have to deal with this UV editor. Okay, this is where UV editor comes in. Finally, all right. Yeah, you don't need to. Yeah, you don't need to have a solid color before applying UV textures. All right, as you can see, we have a top part. There are several separate, parts on this table. Just top. Yeah, is that right? Separated. Yeah, they are separated. Right? Top and the bottom. Or actually, the four legs are separate too. See, all are separated. See, all separated. I don't know who made this. All separated. And we have all are separated. So, I don't think we need to really combine this. Well, anyway, let's do one by one. Let's take care of this in the top first, and then we're going to take care of the rest of things. Select this top part and the UV editor. All right, this is UV editor. The last time for the applying a WKU logo on all 6 sides of the cube, we use the automatic, right? Do you think you can use automatic? Probably yes. Yeah, automatic, it looks like this. Automatic, it looks like this. So the unfolded, the UV editor has unfolded, unwrapped, this top in part of this table. And that's why we have, so let me see. Yeah, these are all separate. See, all separate now. See, unfolded, unfolded. See, all the unfolded. Looks like there are too many pieces there. All right. And then, and do you see this checkboard right here? Just click this. And actually, before applying the actual, texture, something like this, activate this checkboard patterns, and then see your object right here. See the actual object, and if all the gray squares are more or less the same and in scale. Look at this, but unfortunately not. If you look at the top, only in the top face, all in a square are the same in scale. But if you look at the side, like look at this. This is bigger than this, clearly bigger than this. And then we see kind of ugly seam in between these two faces. Let's flip this over or the other. See, same thing. They don't match. We have kind of ugly seam here. And then this square is obviously bigger than this one. This is not good. So when you have this kind of things, you should see kind of stretch it and the distorted texture. What I'm saying is this cylinder. Oh, I think it's better than the cylinder. I think I have a great file. Yeah, irregular form. The cube that we applied the WK logo was a very easy one. We just went to create an automatic, and that's it. And what about this kind of things? What about this kind of syllabus like this? Checkboard. Before applying any sort of textures, I mean, like for instance, what kind of texture I'm talking about? Any kind of this kind of texture, check those squares, light gray in a square first before applying the actual texture. See, we have a bunch of problems, lots of problems. Look at this. This is compared to the square on the top. This was huge, right? And what about here? On the bottom here. Yeah, obviously in these areas, the squares of these areas are stretched. Yeah, this awful neither also. So what about this one? Yeah, we have the same problem. So these are not squares. These are rectangle. That's bad. That's bad. Must be more or less square shape rather than rectangle. And all the rectangle pattern must be more or less the same in scale. So this is so tiny. So now, so same problem here. Look at this. Same problem. So all those rectangle, these are all rectangle. We see some squares down here, but these rectangles are a couple times bigger than the square down here. Okay, this is where UV editor comes in. So since we opened some irregular kind of weird 3D models, let's go to create. Usually we start with this, select one of this, automatic and camera based. So if you select like a camera based, for instance, see, look at this. So must be like this. Must be like this. See, all squares, all patterns that you see on the polygon of these models are square, not even one rectangle.
Why don't you just do that?
Camera based. Select the object camera based. Looks good, right? Perfect. But the problem of this camera based, I'm not a big fan of the camera. No, absolutely not. The problem of this is once you rotate this one, and you see if you render your animation, okay, let's assume that this is your character. You want to render your character from only this camera angle, but you're not gonna bring a camera behind it, okay, the back of the character. That will work. That will work. But if you move your camera, you definitely see kind of stretched, awful texture. Everything kind of distorted. You will see kind of weird texture. This is bad. So this is camera based, and see. So let me flip over this. And I'm going to create camera-based. As I told you, looks great. I'm not a big fan of camera-based. Look at this. Everything is stretched. Everything is even not actually a rectangle. Something that's all different. So what about this? The normal-based. Yeah. Again, see, these are all problems. All problems. What about this and a cylindrical? Again, we have problem. You can play with this kind of things, but I don't think so. I'm not too optimistic about this and this neither. So you can mess with this. It's gonna take forever, and then it's not worth it. Here is planar. Yes, we see some nice squares, but again we have another problem here. What else? Spherical, same problem, same issues. So I can't tell you this one is better than over others. No, it's really, I mean, it depends on what kind of object you are working with. So for some objects, some types of object, this might work better than others. Some object, maybe planar works better than others. So I don't know. Some object, maybe spherical works better than others. It really depends on what kind of object. So spherical doesn't work. And best plane, I think I never used this. Anyway, this doesn't work. See, all stretch it. And what's this? Yeah. Anyway, so automatic. So let's try this automatic. It should work. Yeah. Automatic works at least better than other option, but we have some issues. Do you see this kind of seam, weird seam here? I don't think you can possibly fix it by dragging things, something like this. So once you apply the actual texture on your object, okay, you will definitely see this kind of noticeable, very strong, noticeable seam on here. So this is not good. Also, looks like we have some rectangle on the around here. And if you look at the top here, all in a square, that's nice. But we have some rectangle here. So flip this over. See, automatic is kind of works great compared to others. So basically, we're not done yet. So if you go to, so I apply the automatic. Do you see the thicker, bold, white, line on the top here? This is what actually automatic. This automatic UV edit automatic cut around here. Why he cut this? Why he cut right here? To unfold, to unwrap. See, these are, it's like the UV shell. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 pieces instead of just one piece. He unfolded this one in order to create the squares, same size in squares all around the faces. See how many pieces it is. And then this is not exactly done. After this, and then you have to. The reason why they put so many tools on the UV toolkit, and then you have to modify. You have to make some refinement. From now on, you have to spend some time on refinement to get the perfect. I mean, there's no such a thing 100% perfect, but as good in squares as possible on your objects. Table. Go back to table. All right. So here, I select the top only and the UV editor. All right. So I'm gonna go to create. So obviously, among this, look at this, it's definitely not cylindrical object. And we can easily find which one works best for this kind of table, top part of table. Definitely not spherical, right? Definitely planar. Definitely planar. So I selected the whole this table in planar. And do you think our job is done? not that easy, not that easy. That's why actually many people, it's quite actually many people don't like this UV editor, but it's kind of, I feel like it's a necessary evil. Sometimes we really need this to apply this sort of texture. See, automatic doesn't work. Again, this is a kind of cube, or kind of stretched, long stretched cube, has 6 faces, top, bottom, left and right, front and back, 6 faces. So we can just select a whole, the table top, table and create and plan. No, so you should not do it like this. If you do like this, you will definitely see different sizes of squares or rectangles everywhere. So in order to avoid having those, this rectangle or some different sizes of, the squares, you need to select left and right first. I mean, there's no certain order. You have to select the left and right, and then go to planar, and the front and back, and go to create planar, and then left and right, and then top and bottom. So basically, you have to do you have to go through three times. So what I mean by that is I'm gonna go to face mode, top and bottom. See, I selected. So there's two faces correspond these two squares. Although they look square on our UV editor, but actually they are not. They're not. So these are kind of rectangle, a huge rectangle. That's why we need to deal with all modeling. This is a UV in the toolkit later. So first of all, you need to select both top and bottom, and go to create. And here's planar. Definitely not this one. Definitely not this one. Definitely not this one. Planar, and then don't just select in planar and go to empty box, and it will open planar mapping option. All right. Again, we have several radio buttons and the checkboxes there. The only things that you should worry about is actually this one, project from x-axis. Is that right? X-axis or y-axis? Which axis is right? The g-axis. And so first of all, reset this. Default is a bounding box and x, y, z, and camera. And keep image width and height ratio. And create a new UV set. We can ignore the stuff. And then I'm going to click this, apply. What do you think? And then I'm going to click on this checkbox. Okay, now even we don't see those patterns in our actual object. That means this is wrong. This is bad. So what about this? Y-axis. I'm going to apply this. Do you see? Okay, do you see patterns? Yes, we do. See? Yes, we do. But these are, let me zoom in this. These are not square. These are all rectangle. That means bad. So let me do this. Let's try the g-axis as well. See, now we don't see it. Then now it's very clear. X-axis is wrong. If not sure, you can always check the lower left corner, find the y-axis and g-axis and x-axis. If not sure, just try, yeah, and apply this until you find the right axis. So definitely y-axis is right, but these are, we don't see any squares, but all we can see is on the top and the bottom are rectangles. So that's why probably we need to keep this one, keep image width and height ratio with this. So do you see now? All square. It must be like this, must be like this. But so let me close this one. So if you go to UV editor, we just place the UV editor right here.
How do you get to the window that you just closed? How do you get to the window that you just closed? Where you look at the axis?
What window? There was this one, planner, empty box. Yeah, empty box. All right. So let's quickly take a look. You see bottom, all squares, and all squares here. And the one thing you should be careful of. So we basically done for the top and bottom. The thing, if you as soon as you move this, okay, UV shell, move this one, you see move something like this, you will get this kind of seam. This is bad. This is bad. So that's why you should place, all right, this UV shell within. Do you see kind of the boulder line here? Put them all together inside of this, grid. As soon as you move this outside, you will definitely get this kind of seam. This is wrong. So all UV shell must be in this in a grid, this box right there. All right, so now we're done, top and bottom. So let's do it. So obviously, you see, we see some pattern here, but this is not right. These are all stripes in a line instead of in a square. That's why we need to use this UV editor. This time I'm gonna select the front and back, hold down shift, right? And then select the board. All right, so go to create, planner, and then choose this box, open this. So all you need to deal with is this project, from x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. And if you're not sure, just check every single one, apply. Is this right? Yes. What about this y? Not right. Not right. See? So do you see kind of the line, this gray line must face on the face that you are working with, kind of 90 degree. So so look at this. This is 90 degree. We're working this face and this face. And what about the scale? See, more or less the same. I don't see any rectangle. So we're done. So move next one. Left and right. I'm going to select right click and face right, and then go the other side, left, hold down shift. I selected both faces. All right, and then our planar mapping option is still open. And which axis we should select? X-axis? No, right? So look at this square should face this direction, and the Y? No. G-axis? Correct. So look at this. Now we should see, okay, all the square. But you see, now we see a little problem here. Do you know why? So if you carefully look at the around here, these squares on this, the front and back, faces, and square on the top and bottom about the same, more or less the same. But if you look at the squares on the left and right, it's obviously, apparently, these squares are smaller than this. You know why? Because in terms of face, if we talk about face, this face compared to this face is shorter, smaller. That's why those squares appear smaller. So that we have to fix them. And then I think we're done. Let's now we can close this. All right. Close this. Okay, here we go. We have the big face here. This UV shell. Well, I don't have to move this, but I wanted to. I like to show you what how many like a UV shell that we have created. Here's one. Okay, here is another one. Here's one more, another one. There's another one. So 6 pieces. So these are all 6 pieces right now. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. So this top, bottom, and this is right and left. This back and front. So understand? So after this, I'm gonna select all of this, and then finally we have to deal with one of those UV toolkit. By the way, what is this? Okay, I think we missed this one. You will see several icons around here. Not every single icon is important. But typically, we work with the first one. This is wireframe. And second one is called the shaded. And the shaded UV shell when semi-transparency to identify the overlapped or reversed UV. So overlapped and reversed UVs are bad. So how to find it overlapped or reversed UV map? You have to click on this, the second icon, and then you will see red. Everything red is bad, overlapped or reverse something. So how to fix this? You have to fix this one before moving to our next step. I'm talking about this. Once you select this one, you won't see any color. Blue is okay. Blue is good. Red are bad. Okay, remember. So select this, you will see overlap or reverse. So how to change this? So you can select this and then go to transform. And then you'll find the flip right here. See, normal, red. What about this? Like this, flip. What about this? Flip. So all in blue. That's good. So now, the very first UV tool that we used was rotate, and the second one is a flip. Okay, remember we used the rotate and there was a flip, and then I'm gonna close this transform. You can find the rotate under here. So transform. Here's the rotate tool. Okay. All right. So next, we already unwrapped this. Unwrap, unfold. That means we don't need this. And then, first of all, I'm gonna highlight all this and arrange and layout. I would say this one is very, 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 very useful too. Among actually other two, probably more useful to the layout. Once you click this layout, or you can go to modify and you can find the layout. If you like to adjust some of the setting for the layout before applying on those 6 shell, whatever number of shell, we have currently in 6 shell, UV shell. Click this. And again, actually they created at least a new method, which is unfold in 3D. So far we used only this one, legacy. So these options. Once you select this newer technologies, the UV editor, you can see those options we had to deal to it. So these are two different. This is newer one. This is old one. I believe some animators, 3D modeling artists are still actually using this old one, legacy one. Which one is better? I don't know. So you have to mess with the two options. But if you want to just forget about the older technology, yeah, just simply use this unfold in 3D. And then I'll close this, modify layout, or you go to UV toolkit, and then just simply click this layout. And it goes like this. And then let me click the checkboard. See, do you see what I see? Look at this. Top and bottom is perfect. Yeah, they're all in a square, but look at the left and right and front. This is bad. This way. That's why we have to play with this layout option. So I'm going to highlight this again. Facebook. Okay. Modify layout and the box. So you want to try the legacy? Okay, legacy, and what else we need to none and object. So there are prescale. Okay, select the none first, and then apply. All right. It's still not good, right? And what about the object? And what about world? See, that's why, do you understand? If this is a totally useless legacy, an older technology, you get a totally useless. They probably removed this one. They got rid of this. Why? I mean, do you understand why they still keep this legacy option? Sometimes this was better than this. Probably, I don't know. I probably did. See, I tried the on the prescale. I tried the three things: a non, an object, and world. World works. How do you know this works? See, if you go to my interface, you can find no rectangle. All you see are squares. You see, even top, bottom, left, right, and front and back. And what about the scale and the size? Yeah, about the same, more or less the same. See, this is good. This is good. So whenever you see, like, okay, all the same size of square, same size, but this you see kind of a huge and large and squares, all tiny and small patterns. That means you have to fix them. Once you apply the actual texture on your object, you will definitely see kind of distortions or stretched, ugly texture. This is very important. How to check these patterns? You have to check on this. If you uncheck this, you won't see. Preview first before applying textures. And then another problem is, so let's take a close here. This class runs until 6:30, 6:20. It's almost done.
I think it's 6:40.
6:40. Oh, thank you. 6:40. Okay. I don't think we can possibly finish this. Okay, so last things. Okay, hang on there. Last thing. So let's take a look very close here. You see the patterns. As you see, we see kind of weird the same. Although we see kind of same size, yeah, about the same size of squares on the left and front and back. But I don't like this kind of weird the same here. I like to see kind of connected. I don't like to see this connection discontinued. The patterns. So how to fix this one? So let's go here. As you can see, these are all separated. Okay, these are all individual shell. Now I go to, instead of UV shell, and go to edge. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stitch this. Let's say, let me select this. Did I select right one? Oh, let me hide it this a little while. I'm gonna stitch this. Say this and this too. I can hardly see this too. Say no. Right here. Okay, not this. This one. This is what I'm talking. And basically, we're gonna stitch this and this. This, do you see? This and this. how to state this. So I already, as soon as I select this edges, Maya, the UV editor automatically select the other one, partner. So the partner is this one. So and then the third in the toolkit that we like to check was what was it? What was it? And not this. Yeah, this one. Stitch together. Stitch together. Okay, I select two edges and then stitch together. Nothing happened? Yeah, something happens. So now I'm gonna go check one. Do you see what I'm talking? See, now we don't see, after stitching it together, we don't see seam in between it with two interfaces there. So what about the other side here? Yeah, we have the same problem. So if you apply the real texture on this table, you will definitely see, seam there. How to fix this? All right, same thing. I'm gonna deselect this. Select this, and the UV editor will automatically select another edges for you right here. I think this one. I select only this and select this one, and then stitch it together. You can find it stitched together on the cut and sew. Only this. All right, something happens. Let me check on the checkboard. Do you see this? Yeah, see, we're working on only in the top part of the table, but it still took a quite long time, right? So it's not very simple. The number is straightforward, but you should follow the every small the instruction to get it right. See, get it right like this, and get it right. You can do the same thing. All right. So now you editor. Let's take care of the all info side, left and right and front and back on today. So same thing. I'm going to uncheck this. So now we have to fix these parts. Stitch it together. And then the other side. And stitch it together. All right, stitch it together. Do you see? Stitch together and stitch together, stitch it together. So now, like this. So yeah, all actually look like a square. They are nicely connected. If you see the edges in between the top and side, look at this. And then in terms of scale, all those squares scale, the size of squares are more or less the same, more or less same. Okay. All right, so let's apply a real textures on this table. So what I like to do, so I'm gonna select all, right click, assign new material. I'm gonna go with favorite material, Lambert, for instance. And this is it. And go to color, go to file, and image name. Click on this folder icons. And I don't think I can find it, the textures. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my lessons folder and texturing. Okay, let's drag this to my desktop. All right, again, Maya, I'm gonna click on this folder icon and go to desktop, texturing. All right, let's see which one we like to apply this. Let's try this one, Wood 003 in a JPG. I click on this. Okay, I applied it. But how come we don't see the texture here? You know what? Because we didn't click on this textured icon here. Okay, finally we see this texture. All right. So if you look at the top of this table, the wood grain textures that I just applied on this table appears nicely. Okay, I don't see any major issues here. But you might wonder, so what if you like to rotate this texture? I mean, the texture looks okay. The wood grain appears pretty good, but what if you like to rotate and to see if if there is any better looking than what we have right now here. So in this case, you should go to UV in a toolkit and find the transform here. And we can find the rotate here. So, okay, let me rotate this. Before this, we have to select this. Okay, select. All right, I'm going to select this. I'm going to select this UV mapping, and then I'm going to rotate this. All right, see? Now it's completely changed. All right, which one you like? Select it. Let me show you two different options. Okay, let's go like this. This or this? What about this? Okay, I think I prefer this. I think I prefer this. Okay, so let's looks okay. So look, see, I'm gonna flip this over. See, the bottom looks perfect now. Okay. You cannot achieve, this kind of result without actually using this UV mapping. Okay, this is a place where if you like to apply this kind of realistic textures, okay, you must use this UV mapping. Yeah. Well, you may think of adding some, the brush stroke and the model box. Yes, actually, I prefer that. If you like to add some nice your own, on some creative, the textures for this kind of models in model box. Yes, I do love to see your own, a brilliant, design for this kind of model. But if you like to apply this kind of realistic texture, you should use the mapping. But yeah, looks fine. But you might wonder, what about the rest of part of this table? Awful, right? See, so look at the legs here. This awful. Everything just awful. Even look at the side here. So all awful. See, these are all awful. So you gotta go over, repeat kind of the same thing that we did on the top, part of this table, by going to create and to choose one of these automatic camera based, normal based, the cylindrical and the planar and the spherical. So you got to do it over this. I told you this is not an easy task. It takes some time. Okay, so you should do exactly the same thing that you did on the top of this table for this side. Do you see here this and this and this and this as well, also including those all legs. To save time, I'm not going to do this side of this table, but I'm going to do this 4 legs. Let me show you how to do this. Okay, so I select this leg, just one leg, and then go over UV editor. And then I usually see 6 faces. Of course, this one and even top of the table consists of 6 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 faces. Okay, after 6 faces, so we're going to repeat the same thing that we did earlier. So first of all, I'm going to go to face mode, and this side, okay, front and back should be identical. I'm going to select both. Okay, select both. As you can see, 2 faces are selected, and our UV mapping, and go to create. You might try other things, but for this kind of flat surfaces, we should use this planar. So I'm going to select this planar. Instead of selecting this planar in a word, I'm going to select this empty box so that I can open the planar mapping options here. And there are several things that you need to check. Is typically I check on this keep image width height ratio. So let's do it. Uncheck this first. Keep image width height ratio uncheck, and then we have to find out which axis is correct, for these 2 interfaces. So I'm going to check the x-axis. Okay, if you're not sure which axis is correct, you may just select x-axis and apply. And obviously this is wrong. So you already see sort of a stretched texture. This is obviously wrong. The texture. So the texture that you will get must be something like this on those 4 legs as well. So that axis is wrong. So you can try the y-axis. It is correct. Say now with y-axis, even we don't see the wood grain texture at all. So what about z-axis now? Now you see a little bit, yeah, a pretty blurry, stretch it. The reason why is, I think because of this, keep image width height ratio, because of this. Let me check on this. Okay, so x, you see, the pattern that we see is sharper and cleaner than before after checking this keep image ratio. And then I'm going to y-axis. Yeah, still we don't see nothing. Everything's so blurry. G-axis, I'm going to apply this again. This is correct. See, look at this. This is correct. So now I found that this is right axis, Z-axis. All right. What about the other side? You see, That's correct. So that should be z-axis. So after this, you can click on a project. And remember, we just highlighted front and back, only two faces. Okay, only two faces. Okay, let's quickly go to our UV editor. And then you will see kind of a long, tall, rectangles. Looks like, so, although we worked on the two faces, front and back, remember, two faces, but how can we see only one, face here? We'll find out one here. I'm gonna hit W. Here is one. There must be another one. See? One of these must be front, and the other one must be back. So now we can see this is back, and this is front. So that's not too important, but anyway, you will have two faces there. And the next one, what about this? Left and right. So I select this left first, and then rotate it. Shift and select this one. See, I select both side, left and right. Do the same thing. Yeah, I understand it's very repetitive. Very repetitive. I don't want to say this word, but kind of a little tedious in the process. But this kind of necessary evil. You should go through this in order to get this kind of result. So I select both faces and repeat, create, and then we should definitely select this planner and empty box there. And then all you need to check is, I like to keep image width height ratio checkbox is checked. And then we have to find the right axis. Here's X, Y, Z. Which one is right? You want to try Y axis? You think this is correct? Yeah. Yeah, this is wrong. See, that's not right. And X axis, that should be right. Look at this. So now if you look at so let's try that first. See, 1, 2, 3, 4 faces, all are correct now. So you should see two more faces. Here's another one. See? So what about this? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've done 4 faces. What about this? There's 2 more faces. One is top, actually inside hidden, inside top and bottom. You know what? The viewers, your potential viewers, will never gonna see them. Do you think we could still work for these 2 faces? I mean, it's up to you. If you don't want to bother this 2, anyway, people won't see. Anyway, people won't see it. This is what it's bottom here, and then the other one is actually in between top and this legs. So if you don't want to work with this, just ignore this stuff. Just work with only this 4. Then what's the deal? And UV mapping is, remember, whatever number of pieces of a UV shell must be placed inside of this one in a grid. Do you know why? If you place any of this outside of this in a box squares, you will see some ugly seam there. So you should put everything inside of this one in a square. Now, so next step is, okay, now we have to stitch it together. Why stitch it together? Let me zoom in this one. Yeah, Joy, do you see it here? Mismatching. Do you see? It's very clear mismatching here. That's, you know what is this? Shaded. Shade UV shell with a semi-transparency to identify overlap and the reversed UVs. The reason why these are red, why and the rest of them are blue, these are all correct, but these 2 are overlapped. We have to fix these 2 first before stitching them together. So I'm going to highlight, maybe you can do one by one. Why? Say, go there. And how to fix this one? So unless you check on this, the icon, you don't see any color. If you select this, you don't see any color. You don't know what kind of mistake you're making. So don't forget to check on this. And then select this red one, and then go to transform, and then flip it. See? Blue. Fine. It's good. So this is no longer like reversed in the face. This one is still reversed. So go to flip. Now look at this. All the blue faces. That was a mistake. So now we can go to there. Let's try again. So I'm gonna go to edges. All right, so select these, this. Okay. So these two edges will be stitched. Okay, now I'm going to go to stitch it together. All right. Now you should not see any mismatches. Yeah, perfect. Still. All right. So also we see in a bunch of mismatches here, and I'm going to select. You can select the edges from here, or you can select from here. All right. So both are highlighted. Stitch it together. Boom. Look at this. Now we don't see any mismatches. So these are perfect. So also still there are two pieces of UV shell. So also I'm going to go edge mode. I'm going to stitch together. This one too. There we go. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces that have been stitched together. So this is just one piece. Okay. So remember, they all must be placed inside of this box. So if you go something like this, you should definitely see some weird seam. This is seam that I'm talking about. Do you see? You will definitely get this kind of weird seam if you place this outside of this box. So don't forget to put them inside the box here. And then you can do manually, but say like for instance, you can make this smaller. If you need to achieve a larger patterns, you can make a smaller. If it's a smaller pattern, you can make it bigger. But say if you go outside of this box, you definitely have some seams right now. Or you can just highlight everything and then use this one, align and layers. Simply click this layout. So this option, this menu will place all these 4 faces inside of this one box. So we're not going to work for this because anyway, people won't see this. All right. Also, you might want to rotate this one and see what happens. So let's like this, and where is translate? So rotate this. I see it went outside of this box. As soon as you just place the outside of this square, you should see this is an error. Okay, select all this and the layout again. See, put them all together. Now you don't see any weird shim. And the texture, great. I think I like this one better. I like this better. So basically we're done with the UV mapping job. And then, so if you look at the other layers, like this one and this one and this one all look awful. So do you think we need to repeat the 3 times more to get the to apply this kind of texture for this, like this, like this? Like who's gonna do this? Okay. What if you need to repeat the something more than 10 times for some objects, some 3D models, some specific models? It's gonna be really painful to do this. So when you do this, let's say you want to apply this texture, exactly same texture on here, on here, on here as well. What we can do, select this lag, go to object mode, select this, and hold down Shift and select the another lag, and go to mesh, and you'll find this one, transfer attribute. Transfer attribute. So watch out this. I'm gonna select this transfer attribute and open the transfer attribute and options and go to edit and reset. And I'm not gonna touch anything here. And click transfer. Okay, here is a problem. What kind of problem we have? So always problem. Here's edit mesh, another mesh, and the transfer attribute. There's a world, local, and UV component. There we go. So I just selected sample space component. What about this local? I think should work. Yeah. So world doesn't work, and the local and component works. So look at this. Just one step, we got kind of a nice patterns on this leg. Same thing. Select this one and hold down Shift, and then I'm going to select the another leg, mesh, transfer attribute, and the component transfer. Done. Same thing. So I'm going to select this, hold down Shift, and select this, and go to mesh and transfer attribute. Done. So look at this. Yeah, as I told you, I didn't do this. Okay, this is, you should repeat the same thing for the side. So, but I finished in the top and all in 4 legs. So some of you guys might wonder. I'd like to add some nice bevel, rounded edges around this top table. Yeah. So what if we do this? Modeling toolkit and the bevel. Yep. Now we have it. set. So bounded edges.